Let's take a closer look at the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Darth Vader's Sith Interceptor rare vehicle.
Villa Varykino, living the Star Wars life.
Hello there, and thanks for visiting the Villa Varykino YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be taking a closer look at and unboxing the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron Darth Vader's Sith Interceptor ship. As you can see by the silver foil sticker here, this is a rare, one of 15,000. When the Series 5 of Micro Galaxy Squadron hit store shelves here in New Zealand, my husband and I went on a bit of a toy hunt to see if we could find any of the chase vehicles, and we found 4 different ones. We were so very lucky. The Force was with us that day. We're going through unboxing all of them here on the channel, so do subscribe if you want to check out more. But today I'm going to be unboxing this one. Very, very excited. So before I open it up, I'm going to take a closer look at the packaging. So we can see with the silver foil stripe here, it says Darth Vader's Sith Interceptor, and this one is 0104 from Series 5 there. We have a little bit of an image here showing the Darth Vader minifig fitting into the cockpit, and then of course we have the minifigs themselves right here in the front. Darth Vader and a black and silver astromech R4-K5, and of course that lovely foil chase sticker there. It's always very exciting to spot that, isn't it, when you're on the hunt. And we can see the ship here in all its black glory, looking very cool, very sinister. So there's a little bit of a quirk to this one, and I'll explain. You can see here on the back we have the Millennium Falcon and some TIE fighters, which doesn't really fit with, you know, this particular ship. And if I turn it around, you'll kind of see why. This has a miss card on it. So as you can see, the back of this, very obviously Darth Vader ship there, has the Resistance A-Wing on the back. So the whole backing card is actually wrong. So the art behind this ship should be different. And we can see here it's wrong. But honestly, when we spotted a chase, we didn't initially notice that the backing card was wrong, and there weren't any others. So because we're opening it up, the packaging won't matter in a few minutes once I take it off the backing card. So we weren't too bothered about this. But yeah, that's just a little bit of an interesting quirk. And surprisingly, this was not the only one that we actually came across with a wrong backing card in our searches. I also found the other silver chase, the Shadow V-Wing, was on a B-Wing backing card, but that one was missing the actual chase sticker on it, which I think was a little bit of a shame. Somebody may not even realize that that is like the wrong, you know, backing card, and that it's just a regular figure because it didn't have the sticker on it. And I thought it was really funny that it had the B-Wing back to it. But yes, so I can't really show the back of this one, unfortunately, but to help look at some of the features, I have the Mace Windu Jedi Starfighter from the same wave, because this one is very much the same sort of style ship. It's that kind of Episode 3 style Jedi Starfighter. So if I just pop this one off to the side a little bit, we can have a look at some of the details here. We have a landing gear, a port to put in the astromech, and we've got some movement with the wings here as well. And of course, the other thing is that I do not have the collectible blueprint for Darth Vader's ship because it is the wrong one. So it would look something like this. It would just say, you know, Darth Vader's ship instead of Mace Windu's Interceptor there. We can see the ships around the bottom are also just a little bit different. In the chase vehicle section, we have the Darth Vader ship and the Kit Fisto ship, which I just recently unboxed. Check out our other videos. We can see that they are also listed here. And then this one has the Mace Windu ship and the Desert Skiff. This one has the Desert Skiff and the A-Wing, the Resistance A-Wing there. So sorry I can't show you the back of this particular chase vehicle. It's a little bit of a funny quirk, and honestly we don't mind too much. It's always nice to, you know, find collectibles as pristine as you can, but honestly we are just happy to find this chase at all. We weren't really sure that we'd be able to find him at all, so very, very excited. So once we get him out of the bubble, it's not really going to matter anymore. So the time has come. Let's open this one up. So now I have the starship unboxed and the minifigures. I'm going to take a closer look at the minifigures first. It's really quite impressive how much detail they put into the sculpting and painting of these tiny little figures, considering that they do disappear inside some of the starships in this line. On the back we can see a little image of a blueprint style rendition of the two figures there. We've got Darth Vader and the astromech, and the names here on the front. So it's useful because some of these astromechs, I do mix up the names. This one is R4-K5 and Darth Vader, of course, looking very imperial in black and silver there. So let's pop them out on their little tray. Oh, and we can see that the cape is removable from Darth Vader, which is makes sense because this doesn't really bend, so he can't sit down. Okay, and I'm just going to put these little trays out of the way. And then we can take a look at the Darth Vader figure. So cute and little. So we can see that there's actually a fair amount of detail here. He's got all of the sort of classic Vader armor components accented in silver around his chest and shoulders, even his little belt box there. It's got all the sort of detail here on his gloves and sleeves. And he's got that robe hanging down the back. So for the sake of just demonstrating, the cape just kind of goes on just by clipping around the shoulders. So if you want to like stand him next to the ship, see how well he can stand. There we go. So you can display them. They're pretty small. I'm always worried about them disappearing off my bookshelf. But for the posing, we're going to move his arms up, all the way up. He's got stiff arms. And oh, very stiff legs. We're going to pose him in the cockpit like this. So the cape's not really going to work. It's going to just hang straight down like that. So I'm going to have to store this somewhere, and that's why I keep those little plastic trays. They're a good way of storing the accessories so you can remember where they came from. So yeah, that is the Darth Vader figure. Very impressed with that tiny little detail there. So cute. And then we have the astromech. And it looks more dark grey now that I've actually gotten it out of the packaging, with some black detail on the dome with that silver little button there on the front. Not too much. There's no articulation on the astromechs from this line. The head and legs don't move. And there is a peg hole on the underside that should help them sit into the starships. We can see that there is a peg. Oh, it's all black, it's hard to see. There is a peg in there so that the astromechs sit in there a little bit better and they don't fall out, because you don't want to lose them. So now that I've got those figures looked at, I'm just going to pop them out of the way so we can get onto the main star of the show, the Sith Interceptor. So they look pretty similar to the Jedi starships that we see at the start of episode 3, and that is because this particular ship is from sort of the old pre-Disney expanded universe. As the lore goes, after Order 66, the Empire took over all of the assets from the Jedi, including all of their starships, and repainted them for Imperial use. So that is why this looks like a Jedi starfighter, but it is all black. So I don't know whose this would have belonged to previously, but it is repainted and now belongs to Darth Vader as his Sith Interceptor. So I think that's pretty cool, and I really like the look of this in that Imperial black and silver with this red cockpit. Looks super cool. I love all the different variants that are coming out in the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. You get some really fun ships that are generally not done in many other scales. So let's take a closer look at the features. There's not too much in the way of a paint job with this. It does look like it is made out of black plastic, but we do have some other accented details here. This is silver with some red. We've also got some silver here on the sides. The wing panels are made out of a separate dark grey plastic. On the underside, apart from the lower parts of those silver details, there's nothing much going on here. And then we've got some dark metallic sort of engines with red accents in there. But yes, we expect a Sith ship to be very black. This is definitely fitting the bill there. And of course, most of the paint, or at least the color, is coming through from this cockpit with this really fun translucent red plastic that has silver as the accent on all of the sort of supports around all of those cockpit windows. Truly Darth Vader's favorite colors, isn't it? All black with some dark gray, silver, and red. Very cool. So I don't have the back of the box, as I explained earlier, to sort of go through all of the features, but I assume it's going to be pretty much the same as the Mace Windu Jedi Starfighter. So first up, let's take a look at this landing gear so we can pose it on the shelf. I'm hoping, oh, they just popped out nice and easily. And we've got that little support landing gear there. And it looks like the rest of it just rests on these sort of blocks here. There's nothing that moves here or pops out. Not that I can see. Let me have a look. Is this, oh, okay, this pops out. Okay, there we go. And this side, okay. That wasn't really clear on the box. There we go, we've got 3 landing gear. So, looks proper on the desk now. Very nice. Okay, and now let's get the wings open. They look like they're all sort of attached separately. So you got to pop out each one. And they pop out nice and easily. I'll get my hand out of the way. And this side. And there's kind of a natural stopping point. Now this is looking a little bit more like a TIE fighter, isn't it? When you get those wings out, we get that shape there. Very reminiscent of Darth Vader's ship in later films. Very cool there. So I don't think you can really pose it with the wings out. I think they're just gonna, yeah, it's just, you can kind of balance it, I guess. It does support itself on the wings. But I dare say it's probably going to sink a little bit if you leave it like that, and they do press in. Got to get myself some stands, because sadly the Micro Galaxy Squadron line doesn't come with stands to put the ships in sort of a flight pose. So generally speaking, it is going to be on my shelf with its wings folded in. Just before I put the wings back in, I do like the silver detail underneath here, and there's even some cutouts where you can see all the way through there. It's really quite cool. I love the attention to detail from the ships in this line. And yeah, they just sit there. There is a little bit of kind of painted weathering on these panels that just caught my eye. Not too much, just enough to kind of look like a little bit of carbon scoring or something like that. Just to give a little bit. Don't really notice much on the underside there. And on my ship, there is just a tiny sort of silver speckling, which I don't know if that is sort of intentional weathering or just a little bit of a after effect of the silver applied to the cockpit window there. But it doesn't really catch my eye, and because of the rarity of the chase vehicles, you don't really get too much choice. I guess there's maybe a few very fortunate fans out there that have spotted 2 of these in the wild and can choose and compare which one they want. I've never been that lucky. So yeah, so that's most of the features. The next major one is opening up the cockpit to take a look inside. So it looks like it opens from the front here. There's a very, very small catch. These are the ones that always make me nervous. These ones tend to be a little bit stiff. Let's see. Oh, okay. That's a bit stiff. Let's see if I can get my fingernail under that. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Finally got that one open. So we can really see the color of that cockpit canopy there. And inside is pretty much all black, but I do love the sculpting, and it's going to be absolutely horrendous trying to show you a black cockpit with no detail painted to really sort of highlight it there. You can kind of see there is like a little chair in there with all sorts of little details around it. And of course, we've got this cool translucent, very TIE fighter window here on the front that you can just see through. You can kind of just see my finger through the window there. But yes, very black on the inside. I do like the little chair there. Might post up a picture or two to sort of show that inner detail a little bit clearer, because I do really appreciate the fine detail that they put inside cockpits from this line. So let's go ahead and try and put the minifigures inside. I'm going to start with Darth Vader. I'm hoping, because this looks like a fairly open, wide cockpit, because he's got that robe around his legs, we're not really going to be able to flex his legs like we can on some of the other figures. I'm hoping that he's just going to sit in there as he does. Very nice. We can see him. Looks a little bit funny because he's not really reaching any sort of like controls or anything like that. He's just got his arms reaching out, but I think that that looks pretty cool. So if you want to display him like that, I think that looks pretty cool. And I'm just going to go and pop the astromech into the little port on the wing. Okay, so not sure how far down he's going to go. I think that's about as far down as the astromech's going to sit on this one. On the Episode 2 style Jedi Starfighters, there is like a little, not really a button, but a sort of a panel on the underside that you can push up to pop the astromechs out. But I get the feeling because these ones sit up a little higher, you can just grab them and pull them out rather than requiring a button to pop them up there. So now we've got the two figures. They're in the ship. Now it's time to close the canopy and lock Darth Vader in. Snapping in. So let's see. I can see him through there. This is obviously a darker sort of cockpit, but I can certainly, with the silver on his chest, I can make that out a little bit better. But the black inside the black with a red canopy is a little bit more minimal. But there's just something about knowing that each of these ships has a figure inside that just kind of makes them seem a little bit more complete for display, especially with the astromech. I think that they would look very bare with that, just that open astromech port rather than a figure inside. I think this looks really cool. I know this isn't like a classic original trilogy ship, but I do like having... I'm really quite surprised with how much I'm enjoying all of the different sort of repaints and variants that are available in this line. You know, we're really spoiled for choice. You can get different Jedi ships and different repaints and things like that, the different weathering that comes from some of the X-Wings and things like that in this range. I think that that's really cool. Now I can't wait to start adding more to my sort of Jedi Starfighter. I know this one's not technically a Jedi Starfighter, but it's going to go really nicely alongside them on my shelf as a Sith version. Looking so very, very cool with all of those black, red, and silver details there. Now, I say this so much, I'm going to have to get a stand because I do think this just looks a little bit cooler with those wing flaps open. If I can get them all out again. Oops, and that astromech's going to want to come out. Some of them clip in a little bit easier, so I can literally tip them upside down and they don't fall out. This one, I feel like he might. Let's just test. Yeah, okay. He's doing a little bit better. He does kind of want to rattle in there a little bit because I'm always worried that I might accidentally lose one on a shelf because they are sitting outside of the cockpits, but oh, that just looks really, really cool. Now I've got to decide if I'm going to put this one next to my Jedi Starfighters or in my more TIE Fighter Imperial section as part of my Micro Galaxy Squadron display. I feel like this one might look a little bit better next to the TIE Fighters, I think, with that ominous black paint scheme. Very, very cool. So there you have it. That was my unboxing and review of Darth Vader's Sith Interceptor rare chase vehicle, one of 15,000 from the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. It was a little bit of a quirk that it had the wrong backing card, but it did indeed have the chase sticker, so that was exciting. And to be honest, I'm going to have it displayed loose like this, so now that it's out of the packaging, I'll probably forget over time that that was, you know, a wrong backing card for it. Just really happy to have this one in my collection. The Force was with me the day I found this one in the store. Thank you so much for watching. Check out our other videos and do subscribe. We're going to have lots more unboxings from the Micro Galaxy Squadron line. We've got another chase coming up very shortly. I'm very excited about, so do subscribe. Catch you in the next video, and as always, may the Force be with you.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. Check out our other videos and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.